Hello and welcome. I'm Millicent Walker. Tonight, commotion at Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly complex over alleged attempt to impeach Governor Udom Emmanuel and House Speaker Anofiok Luke. Opposition APC denies claim by ruling PDP. House of Representatives to investigate utilization of funds appropriated for the fight against insurgency, as well as the lapses that led to the death of soldiers in Metele, Borno State. Osun State gets new chief executive as Mr. Akwa Ibom is sworn in as the state's 5th elected governor. And Russia releases statements by 3 captured Ukrainian sailors after being shown on the country's television.
On Business News tonight, Treasurer of the World Bank, Aruma Ote, calls for proactive advocacy to drive global competitiveness for Nigeria's market.
And on sports news tonight, reigning African champions Nigeria's Super Falcons pick a ticket for the 2019 Women's World Cup, qualify for the final of the African Women's Cup of Nations.
And from Abuja, Bond Chairman John Momo challenges media industry players to step up their game in the face of digital disruption as the organization holds 71st General Assembly in Port Harcourt, Rivers State.
We begin tonight with the House of Representatives setting up an ad hoc committee to investigate how all the funds appropriated for the fight against insurgency was utilized. The committee is also to unravel the lapses that led to the death of soldiers at a village in Metele, Borno State. The lawmakers who arrived at this resolution after a debate on the matter also urged the Nigerian Army High Command to release the names of the soldiers who lost their lives in the attack. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi reports.
Well, I think we're all aware that 4 days ago, was it 5 days ago, we lost about 44 brave soldiers of the Nigerian army.
It's an issue considered by the Senate last week. The attack by insurgents on a battalion of Nigerian soldiers in Borno State.
Around the fringes of the Lake Chad region.
The matter comes up as a motion of urgent public importance in the House of Representatives.
The House also notes that initial figures of casualties were put the death toll at 44, but as more details emerged, it is now confirmed that 118 soldiers and officers were killed together with their commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Sakaba, while about 150 more soldiers and officers are still missing.
The contributions that follow are devoid of political colorations as members discuss who should be held responsible.
Whatever pressure we put on these service chiefs, I do not think that anything good can come out of them because it's like they have reached their wits' end. It is like their intellectual capability, the ability to even fathom what is even going on is even at its wits' end. Therefore, why can it not be changed? Is there a pact between them and the commander-in-chief that says, come rain, come sunshine, even if we lose thousands of our soldiers, they will remain sitting pretty on their seats? Mr. Speaker, this is intolerable.
I wish to call on the Chief of Army Staff, by extension all the service chief, to kindly resign. They have failed.
A colleague of ours on this floor, just before myself, has made mention of a situation where the president has said he's going to put them under pressure. But we need to remind ourselves, the president is also the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I think it would not be wrong to say that the commander-in-chief has failed us.
Some solutions are then put forward.
I said I really salute our soldiers that are on ground because the way they stand firm in fighting this insurgency. But to be candid, the equipment for them to attest to that is no longer there.
I believe that as a country, we must start to look at other countries like Pakistan that have done the same thing and fight these battles. We need air support. We should be able to take off from anywhere in 30 minutes, carpet bomb them, Mr. Speaker, sir, to take away from the audacity of Boko Haram.
Yes, there is need for the security agencies to account for the $1 billion that they took. It's very important. There is need for us to continuously know how the resources that they have been given have been applied.
Some members fault the different committees of the House of Representatives whose mandate it is to oversight the armed forces. The House then resolves to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate how all the funds appropriated for the fight against insurgency have been utilized and also unravel the lapses that led to the death of the soldiers.
In favor of the motion as amended, say aye. Those against it, say nay. The ayes have it.
No timeline has been set for the committee to submit its report. Lanre Lasisi, Channels Television News.
In Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, calm has been restored at the State House of Assembly following reports of shooting in the complex earlier in the day. 5 lawmakers who defected to the All Progressives Congress had reportedly held a session in the morning where they allegedly attempted to impeach Governor Udom Emmanuel and the Speaker of the Assembly, Onofiok Luke. But soon after, the Speaker and 20 other lawmakers arrived at the Assembly to carry out their legislative duties, and the atmosphere turned rowdy, prompting the police to shoot into the air.
For some days now, a tense cloud has been hovering over the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. The gates were shut and police presence heavy. Wrangling between House members over defections was largely the cause of the closure.
The Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly.
At the National Assembly, the matter was brought up as one that should not be swept under the carpet.
These 5 members of the House of Assembly went to court to compel the Speaker not to declare their seat vacant upon their defection to a political party. Mr. President, it is on the basis of the judgment of the court that the Speaker declared the seat vacant.
The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, cried foul over the alleged use of the police as pawns of intimidation.
The Commissioner of Police there colluded with the state governor to forcefully, force APC members out of the State House of Assembly. And the commissioner went beyond the bound of duty to aid and abet what was clearly wrong.
Eventually, when the gates were opened, there was hope that peace would reign. But it seemed even that was not possible, as pandemonium broke out when it was discovered that the 5 defectors had allegedly attempted to impede the Speaker of the State House of Assembly. Once members managed to eventually make their way into the House, the Speaker called on the federal government to step in.
We are calling on the international community, and we are calling on the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to take note of what is happening here in Akwa Ibom.
Convening an emergency world press conference, the governor of Akwa Ibom, Udom Emmanuel, described the entire matter as a plan by the upper echelon of the All Progressive Congress to destabilize the state.
And if they are playing politics this way, there is no hope for democracy in this country. And this is in line with the plan. We have their script. That number 1, they want to cause mayhem in the state, so the election will not be held. The same day general election will be called. But we are trying to tell them, if election is not held on that week, we can't hold election on that same day. They should forget election here.
A claim the APC flatly refutes, saying that the governor of Akwa Ibom State is crying wolf where there is none.
And the governor and the state government is taking every step, having lost the people, having lost the sympathy of the people, to whip public sentiment in every direction.
2019 is certainly gearing up to be an interesting year for Nigeria. Hopefully, this problem in Akwa Ibom State and others like it will be ironed out before the general elections proper, as anything short of peaceful resolutions will not be in the best interest of democracy.
And to some legal matters, where after 10 years, the trial of the former governor of Oyo State, Rashidi Ladoja, on charges of fraud has finally ended. At the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos today, the former governor testified in his own defense to bring an end to the protracted trial which started in 2008. Mr. Ladoja is standing trial alongside a former finance commissioner in the state, Waheed Akambi, for allegedly diverting 1.9 billion naira, among other funds allegedly belonging to the state, to his personal account. Well, the EFCC claimed that the two men retained the money sometime in 2007, despite their knowledge that it was proceeds of a criminal conduct. Ladoja is also accused of removing the sum of £600,000 from the state coffers in 2007 and sending it to Bimpe Ladoja, who was at the time in London. The EFCC also told the court that Ladoja diverted the sum of 42 million naira belonging to the state and used it to purchase an armoured Land Cruiser Jeep. Well, trial judge Justice Mohammed Idris thanked all the parties in the case for cooperating with the court and then adjourned till January the 21st, 2019 for the adoption of final written addresses. In the meantime, the Federal High Court in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, has denied bail in the trial of the sex for Mark lecturer, Professor Richard Akindele. The presiding judge, Justice Maureen Oyetenu, had at the last proceedings adjourned for definite trial and hearing of the application for bail, but asked that Professor Akindele be remanded in prison custody. At the hearing today, the ICPC's legal team told the court that they were ready to open the case for trial and had 1 out of 6 witnesses in court. However, the trial could not continue because the lead counsel for the ICPC was absent in court due to some other official assignments and wanted to personally conduct the case. The lecturer, who has been sacked from the Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, has been sacked following that allegation. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission had told the court that the defendant unlawfully demanded sexual benefits for marks from Ms. Monica Osage on September the 16th, 2017. Staying in Osun State, Mr. Gboyega Oyetola has been sworn in as the governor of Osun State. Oyetola takes over from Mr. Rauf Eregbesola, who completed 8 years in office. The swearing-in ceremony, which held at the Osogbo Township Stadium, had in attendance the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari. Power has changed hands in Osun State. Gboyega Oyetola is the new governor.
That I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
He takes over from Rauf Eregbesola, who has just completed an 8-year tenure in office in a ceremony held at the Osogbo Township Stadium, the state capital. The president, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustapha, assures the people of the state of the federal government's support.
As a party in power, has brought development through people-oriented projects and programs to bear on Osun State. These plans have followed the path and the foundation laid by our founding leaders in creating for a greater good of our people. The federal government has supported various infrastructural projects in Osun State, and I shall continue to do so under the new administration.
The new governor takes the traditional motorcade ride to inspect the Guard of Honor. The governor promises to consolidate on the achievements of his predecessor.
We already have a governance paradigm, a representative template, through which our state can be made greater than it already is. What we bring on the table, therefore, and promise the people of this state is determination to run a people-friendly government which focuses on growth, creation of jobs, social protection, inclusive governance, and sustainable upgrade in the standard of living of our people. A healthy state is a wealthy state. Our commitment to primary health care, in particular, will be given impetus, as highlighted in our campaign manifesto.
Oyetola was elected the 5th civilian governor of the state in September in an election that is still being challenged in court by the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Ademola Adeleke. In part 2, after the break, we'll be speaking to the #1 man in Osun State, Boyega Itala, plus a report of the former President Olusegun Obasanjo and former Italian Prime Minister Romano Prodi as they plan to tackle African leaders on poverty and insecurity on the continent. Please join us again.